We must begin what I think is the most massive story in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani possibly being traded in the second half of this regular season. You saw the fans in Seattle at the All-Star game trying to recruit him. I think that's going to be a new theme. You'll see fans in other ballparks say, please, Shohei, come to us.
It's just the beginning, and all the players are even saying it. We're all welcoming it, right? But what you look at and what he's doing right now, where their Angels are at right now, too, and moving on to the future, what's their schedule looking like? This is a schedule that's going to get a lot tougher. I would think that he's going to be elsewhere. It just doesn't make sense financially, just for the future of the team, for the future of just more years to come to win baseball games, for Shohei Ohtani to stay in that uniform.
I agree with you, Greg, too. I mean, this is the Ohtani effect. So, like, as he moves on over the course of this, whether he's still an Angel or not, you know, going through the rest of this season, you know, opposing teams and cities are going to be, you know, throwing their pitch to him, you know, from a fan's perspective, because they want him on their team. And what he's doing this year is incredible. And I know we're going to talk about it as, you know, probably one of the best seasons ever played.
Well, let's dive into that. Do you think, Alex, it's the best season? Is he having the best season of all time? Look at what he's doing with the bat and look at what he's doing on the mound. What is he on pace for? Well, we're looking at a player that just offensively is playing like a Hall of Famer. He is on pace to hit 58 home runs and drive in 128 with a batting average over 300. On the mound, he's on pace to strike out over 250 guys. That's like a closer K per 9. If he gets to 200 innings, there's a chance he could have the fewest hits surrendered for any pitcher with at least 200 innings pitched in a single season. He's pitching like a Hall of Famer and hitting like a Hall of Famer. Is it the greatest season we've ever seen?
You were there when Miggy Cabrera won his Triple Crown.
Yep.
So he's just so we can have what's going on here with his season. He's having a Miggy Cabrera year with a Pedro Martinez-like year. So what was that when you saw Miggy as winning a Triple Crown, saying this is the greatest hitter of all time? Now add a little Pedro Martinez to it as well every fifth inning.
No, you can't make a comparison. Even when you try to make sense of it by, you know, splitting it up basically into the best hitter that year and the best pitcher of that year kind of thing, it just doesn't make any sense. What's crazy to me, too, is like last year you had a great season. Aaron Judge wins the MVP, sets the American League home run record, right? Ohtani's like, well, I could probably do that. I mean, he's flirting with it going into this year.
I asked him on the red carpet, does he want to break the American League single-season home run record? And he said, yes, I would love to.
Exactly. Going into this season, not winning the MVP last year because of, you know, the historic run that Judge had, it was like, oh, you know, what you can do, I can do better. And then some with the pitching.
Is he going to get traded, yes or no?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Do you think he gets traded?
I do believe so.
I do believe so. Alex, do you know why I disagree with you? Do you see his comparison?
We always
to Aaron
disagree.
Judge? We always do. We've just admitted he's hitting like a Hall of Famer.
Right.
He's pitching like a Hall of Famer. This isn't just one player. This is two Hall of Fame level players in one. So you're going to get one compensation pick? You're going to get one comp pick and let two Hall of Fame players wrapped in one leave your organization?
I understand what you're saying. I really do, because what I just think that Artie Moreno and the Angels, they don't want to trade him. You know, it's a good baseball move for sure, especially with him going to be a free agent. More than likely not sign back with the Angels. I think if they would have done something already if that was going to be the case. But one, he's going to be a rental, so it's going to be tough, I think, for a team to like really mortgage the farm like that for 2 months.
Oh my goodness.
I
really
feel
do.
Like if it hasn't happened yet to sign with the Angels, he's got to get moved on. Like, he's not going to sign back with them. That's for me.
My main thing is the main reason why I don't think he's going to get traded is not so much because I'm sure there'll be a team that'll have a package that's like, yeah, we probably should do this deal. But I just think that Moreno is not going to want to do it.
Well, this is Greg. This is like
this
Artie
is an
Moreno,
ownership decision.
This is like Artie Moreno saying no trades to different teams, right? To a team like the Dodgers, per se. He might not want him to go to the
He doesn't want to trade him to the
45
Dodgers.
miles away, that's
no
not
way.
happening. But maybe a short leash team, like a rental, maybe a Cincinnati Reds, a Tampa Bay, a team that's
Baltimore Orioles,
a team that you know he's not going to stay long-term to hopefully sign him somewhere else long-term. I think that makes more sense. I don't see him kind of going to a team like the Dodgers or anything like that. But it's crazy that an owner has the ability to just kind of first see where we would put Shohei Ohtani on his like.
Like you said, though, it will be the most watch scenario in baseball over the course of the next
I so
few
hope
weeks.
you're wrong. I so hope.
We'll see.
Alex, I so hope you're wrong. All right, let's talk about the second biggest storyline in the second half, in our humble opinion, and it's Luis Ariz, the biggest fish in Miami. I'm going to take you back. The highest batting average at an All-Star break among qualified hitters since 1994. You got to go back to 1997 when we had Larry Walker and Tony Gwynn hitting over 390. Then it's Nomar in 2000. Then it's Darren Erstad. Look at where Luis Ariz is right now, hitting 383. Can he hit 400? Now, for him to do that, he'd have to play like a mega star, and he already has in one half of the season.
Well, 383 is a mega star.
Mega star.
Yeah.
But he would have to hit 424 in the second half.
You're blacking out in every at-bat.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe not, because we saw him black out in every at-bat for a stretch of 14 games.
Yeah.
Right.
And he had a stretch of 14 games in the first half where he had 3 5-hit games. The record's 4 in a single season. He had 3 5-hit games in a 14-game span. If he could do this for 2 weeks, hit 483, now you're talking about a batting average that's in the 380 range, which is where he's at right now. Do you think Luis Ariz can hit 400?
Yes, I think he can, but he's got to walk more. I think during that stretch of 14 games, he only had 3 walks. If he's going to be able to do that, the on-base percentage needs to go up, and it's got to be more games like a 1 for 3, a 2 for 4, instead of a 2 for 5. That, for me, is the only way that I would see that happening. They're going to be a lot more careful now. These games in August and September are going to be way different. He's not a surprise anymore for in the league. Like, the Marlins aren't a surprise. He's not a surprise anymore. They're going to be very, very careful. He's got to take his walks.
Well, to hit 4, to your point, though, like I think it's got to be more like a 2 for 3 with a walk or a 3 for 4 with a walk.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be able to hit 400 going 1 for 3 or 1 for 4. It's going to be really tough to do. But the thing is, like, to your point, that he's got to walk more. When you're going good, like when you were going good in the hot streak, same
you think
thing.
you can hit everything?
You can hit. You think you can hit every
chase it.
pitch. Now, to Luis's credit, though, he can hit everything. He's really got no holes as far as being able to make contact with the pitch. I know, playing with him and watching him in Minnesota, he doesn't really have an area where a pitcher can go to and, like, over and over again, a glaring weakness like most hitters have. And, with him, he's a good bad ball hitter as well. He can make contact and hit it all over the field. And same thing with pitchers in the zone, including not just velocity, but then also breaking stuff. So he's at a point where, like, he just thinks he can hit everything, and which he can. That's why you don't see him walking all that much, because he's just banging.
I talked to Soler in the All-Star, and I said, hey, talk to me about Luis. Is he for real? He says that he'll go in the middle of a game, and he'll say, I see that hole to the left side. I'm going to hit that hole. If I see there's a shift on the right because there's somebody on first base, I'm going to shift him so we can get first and third. He can call out his hits. That's how good he is.
You know what's wild to me, though? So playing with him in Minnesota, the one thing I did notice, and I'm actually glad I kind of talked about it a little bit during the All-Star break with CY on set, he doesn't look at scouting reports. Right? Like, every once in a while you might see some video of pitchers, but he doesn't look at scouting reports. As a hitter, how many times you wanted to know the pitcher's percentages, what he's throwing in these situations, what is he like, what is his best pitch, what does he like the most in certain situations? He doesn't look at any of that stuff.
Why do I love that so much?
He doesn't look at anything.
I love that.
He is pure reaction.
Tony
pure
Gwynn,
reaction.
2.0.
Last week of the regular season, he will be within striking distance of 400. I don't know yet, my bad knee, if he's going to do it, but the last week of the regular season, it will be one of the biggest stories that we talk about.
Hey, your knee was wrong.
With Ronald Acuna Jr. leading off the game, by like this much it was wrong. And Ronald Acuna Jr. is trying to join this group. 40 homers, 40 stolen bases in a single season. He's on pace for 38 home runs and 75 bags. Now, none of these guys came close to 75 stolen bases. So what type of player are we looking at from Ronald Acuna Jr.? This is eerily similar to an Eric Davis 1986 season. Ronald Acuna Jr. is doing something we just haven't seen. And that year in 86, Eric Davis has not hit 30 home runs. Ronald Acuna Jr. is playing on the best team in the National League, and he is mashing. Eric Davis stole 80 bases with a 901 OPS. I know Acuna's batting average is higher. He's the heavy front runner for MVP in the National League. This is, if there was no Ohtani being otherworldly yonder, we would be talking about this as one of the best seasons we've ever seen.
Look, when I look at him, first of all, in March, I looked at him during the WBC, and I said, this guy's going to be a 40-40. I mean, you can just tell how healthy he looked. I think the running is going to slow down a little bit. I think the slugging will go up. It gets a lot hotter right now during these months where the ball really flies out of SunTrust. I think his lineup, the lineup where he's at right now in the middle of that lineup, Matt Olson, he's got to continue to get that slugging out as he's been. If the guy hitting behind him gets really, really hot, he'll be 40-40.
No, you make a good point. The lineup he's hitting in right now, like, is conducive for him to be able to put these kind of numbers up. He's a great player regardless of who's hitting behind him. But I mean, how amazing is it though? Like last year, we saw Judge, have a historic season, and then this year we're talking about Ohtani, Arise, and Acuna having historic seasons as well. I mean, it's unreal.
It really is. And I don't think he's going to slow down. At the All-Star game, I go, hey, man, if you reach first base in the first inning against Garrett Cole, you're going to steal second. He looks at me in perfect English and goes, third and home. He was not hesitating.
Not lacking in confidence.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, let's go to Twitter.